Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. Today is Tuesday, the 24th of February 2026. I am your host, Akinlabi Holder, and we're going to be doing something a little different with you all this morning. We're going to have my co-host Vanessa. She's out in the field and she's going to be bringing you some interviews from out in the field. Yes, so today's show is going to be quite different, quite interesting. But before we get into any of those conversations, we head on over to our news in 90 seconds. And here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for the 24th of February 2026. A cargo crisis sparks a war of words, tragedy strikes at Mount Irving, and the THA prepares possible lifeline for local businesses. Your news in 90 seconds starts now for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Former Prime Minister feeling the blue wave squeeze. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is taking aim at Chief Secretary Farley Augustine as the cargo vessel crisis reaches a breaking point. Dr. Rowley took to social media to speak out on the food shortage. He revealed that as one of the few producers in Tobago, he cannot feed his livestock, which includes sheep, chickens, and pigs, due to the lack of feed reaching the island. With opposition leader Penelope Beckers-Robinson warning of dire shortages and Minister Jerlene John claiming no shortages, the pressure is mounting for a definitive end to these issues. In tragic news from West Tobago today, an investigation is underway into the circumstances of a drowning at Mount Irving Beach on Monday evening. The victim has been initially identified as 83-year-old Godwin Williams of Riseland Trace, Canby. Stay tuned for more updates as more information comes to hand. And finally, relief may be coming for Tobago's struggling private sector. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has commissioned a formal economic assessment led by Dr. Selvon Hazel to quantify losses as a result of the cargo vessel disruption. Unlike the 2017 crisis, Augustine promises a data-driven approach, with results due in 2 weeks to determine exactly how the THA will compensate and support affected businesses, as reports of losses in the hundreds of thousands are reported by the business community. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for full newscast. And we see there, viewers, number of issues coming to hand, which is the issue with the crisis of the cargo vessel. And we saw last night that the Minister of Works, Ms. Honorable Jerlene John, she would have overseen the sailing of the vessel last night, making sure that the ship was filled with cargo heading to Tobago, but a war of words still brewing, with the former Prime Minister saying that he is now feeling the squeeze on his farm where he produces sheep and pigs and livestock for the feeding of the island, whereby the opposition leader getting into the mix of things, warning of a dire shortage on the island. So the temperature is heating up concerning this issue of the cargo vessel. We know that the blue wave would have sailed last night, and hopefully this is the end of the crisis that has been gripping Tobago for the past 5 weeks. Okay, viewers, it's that time to celebrate with those who are celebrating with us. It's time for our birthday shoutouts. And here at Tobago Updates, we like to celebrate no matter what you're celebrating. And this morning we start things off by saying happy birthday to Miss Kemba Seeley. Happy birthday to you, Miss Seeley. God's richest blessings. Today is a special day. You're going to jump and dance and prance today. Eat cake and champagne. You're looking very lovely in this picture, and I know you're going to be even looking better tonight as you celebrate, and we pray your safety and God's richest blessings over you for the next year. We move swiftly along to say happy birthday to Mr. Chevron Lynch. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Lynch. Today's your birthday. Go out and celebrate. Stay safe. Be surrounded with friends and family, and we pray that whatever you put your hands to, that God richly blesses you. Tracy Caldera, happy birthday to you, Miss Tracy Caldera. Today is a special day. Yes, it is. You've seen another year, another circle around the sun, another revolution around the sun. Let us give God thanks for your life, and we know that He has blessed you richly, and you have been a blessing to others. And we pray that you continue along that vein and you grow from strength to strength. And finally, we say happy birthday to Lee James from Bethel. She lives in Seattle, USA. And we say happy birthday to you, Lee James, from the James family there in Bethel. They're wishing you happy birthday, Miss James. And viewers, whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, whatever you're celebrating, we would like to celebrate with you here at Tobago Update. So send us information on Tobago, Trinidad, the region, and the wider world will celebrate with you. Now, viewers, I told you earlier that we're doing things a bit different today, and Renessa is out in the field. She's going to be conducting some interviews with us. But before we get into any of that, we have to go for a short break. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Coming up, fets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Elderly can't have fun too. We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure our bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bulge oil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
chill. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kira and Kayla. I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. As promised, we have my co-host Vanessa Ortiz out in the field, and we are going to connect with her now. Good morning, Vanessa. How are you?
Good morning, Akalabi. I'm good. I'm just missing being in studio with you this morning, but you know we have to get the stories covered.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So tell us, Vanessa, where are you and what are you about to do?
Well, this morning we are in Rockley Vale and we're going to be interviewing Ernest Alexander. He's one of the contractors here on the island of Tobago who has been impacted by the cargo woes. And we're here this morning just to get a bit of insight into what the day-to-day has been looking like since the disruptions and the damages that was done to the Blue Wave Harmony.
Okay, Renessa, so I'm going to hand you over now. I'm going to hand the viewers over to you now. Viewers are going to go for a short break. And when we return, Renessa would be conducting that interview. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these very brief messages.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. We are here with Ernest Alexander. He's one of the contractors here on the island of Tobago. And this morning, as mentioned before, we are on site with him to get a bit of insight into what the cargo woes has been affecting him and his day trade. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning to you.
I want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to come this morning just to have an interview with you here from the Tobago Updates family.
Okay.
Now, I want you to tell us, Mr. Alexander, tell us a bit about the business and the trade that you ply from day to day here on the island of Tobago.
All right. I am a contractor or a builder by trade, and I joined together with a couple of young men and elderly men like myself, and we provide service to do construction. We do some buildings and well, quite a number of buildings across the island. And the situation that take place, just the main problems or problem that I experienced was with this whole cement situation, because as everybody know, you cannot do construction without cement in a day and age like this. So that was my main issue, my major problems. It was the cement, and most time when you go to the hardware, well, we don't have this and we don't have that, so that was the main problem.
So based on what you are saying, the main issue right now is just about the cement for now. Which hardwares do you usually go to here on the island of Tobago that you have realized over time, especially since the disruptions in the cargo situation, that you aren't able to acquire some of the materials that you need to do your services?
All right. Normally, I had been working for Penny Savers Supermarket for many, many years, since I could say like 1986, I've been working for Penny Savers. Penny Savers normally will get their materials to do their work from a couple of hardware. TK Hardware is one of them, and that hardware was closed. I don't know if it's because of the boat situation, but it was just closed. So I had was to fish around now to get material to do anything. Wherever I could get it, you get it. Yeah, I know. You could get here or get there. Whoever you could get from, whenever you could get it, you get it.
Now let's go a bit back to the vessel coming in on stream. It was supposed to be operational during this time, but we have seen the past incident, and that isn't possible right now. We're hearing about sea trials. But tell us a bit about how you felt when you heard about the Cabo Star being their lease being expired, and that we will have the Blue Wave on stream. What kind of thoughts did you have about that vessel coming onto stream and helping to alleviate with some of the problems? Because I know if it is you're hearing that a cargo vessel is going to be, the lease is going to expire and a new one is coming, you have that expectation and hope of reliability. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, all right. Well, generally, I would have thought that out on a next boat or a new boat, things would have... Sometimes when you have these things, you might have had a little problem, a couple of days. But this time it was long. I could guarantee you it was the worst. I never, in all my years of doing construction, I never experienced that.
Did you take on any projects in anticipation of the reliability of the Blue Wave Harmony?
Well, what I was doing at the time, I had was to stop, to tell you the truth. Because you just couldn't get what you wanted to do the work. So one of the things that I did, me and the guys who normally work with us, all of us work together, I said to them, I have some work, as you could look around and see construction going on. I have some work home here doing that. So I said, when we couldn't get the cement and you couldn't get certain things that you wanted, in fact, one time I couldn't get steel, I said, here we will do. I have some work home doing. Better we come by me and kind of utilize the time. I even discussed with them that I'll pay them less because it's by me. And they all agreed, and we came and started doing some work here. So that's how we've seen some work doing around here. While that is happening, I was hoping that the thing would ease up, but it get worse. In fact, I had was to borrow cement from people because I had one customer. I was doing some work for her, and I had was to borrow some cement. One guy came back with 10 bags. One guy who I normally will purchase things from, he'll go to Trinidad and bring up stuff. He said, well, when I call him, he said, well, I can't give you a pallet. Because so many people want, I could give you half of the pallet and I give a person half. So I took 15 bags by the lady and did some of her work. We used 10 bags from by her. Then another lady who called me to do something for her, I couldn't do it. I told her, well, why I couldn't do it because we couldn't get cement. So she said, I'll go and get some cement. When she went, she said, boy, when I went, they laughed at me, yes, because you can't get no cement. So I took 3 bags that I had and was able to do her work. And that's how it was. In fact, I was trying to get some ready mix from the companies that supply pre-mixed concrete. And I said, boy, I had was to beg them and I still didn't get through. I never got through. I had was to pay to hand mix. When I did get some cement last week, I got a few bags of cement. Well, the fella gave me a pallet. He went back down, came back with a pallet, gave me 1 pallet. I was to hand mix the concrete. And when you hand mix it costing you more.
Now, you spoke about your customers. Tell us a bit about how understanding some of the customers were when they realized the constraints that you were under, and you had to negotiate and say, well, this is the situation, what's the best that we can do? Were some of them upset? How did they react to it?
When your hands are tied, it is tied. It makes no sense to make noise. Because everybody knows the first thing they'll tell you the boat. And I'm sure you as an individual, if you go by the hardware to get stuff, and they'll say, well, we don't have here, and you go there and you don't have there, or you call around. First thing they'll tell you the boat. We all know that. Yeah, do.
Now, what I know you just mentioned that it costs more for you to hand mix and do all of these together. And I have seen what it's like to be on a construction site. I have family and friends who are within that field, and I know it's no easy feat having to do this hard labor. Now, tell us a bit about finances and cash flow. How has that been since the damage to the Blue Wave family? What has that been like in terms of cash flow coming into your business and what you are able to do?
Well, to be truthful, it is as difficult as it could get. Many of the days we wouldn't work. For example, today in particular, I am supposed to do some work in Castara, and the hardware will tell you, nah boy, we can't go up there because the demands from all the setback, the demands is so great that if they had to go in a place like Castara, they may do too particular to go there. So from day to day, I would say, gentlemen, we're not sure what happening tomorrow. And they will call me in the morning and say, what happened today? So yesterday we was to get some sand, we couldn't get it. And today now, they're calling to find out whether we get the sand or not. I'm not even sure. So that's how it is.
Now, in the life and the day of a contractor, we know the day is how you are paid. That's how things are done in terms of how you are able to supply for the persons you are working with, and as well yourself and your family, because this isn't just the contractors, this is also the families that rely on you as well. Yeah. Can you give in detail to the viewers who still may not have an understanding what a 1 week delay does for contractors, and seeing as this has gone on for more than a week, give them a bit of insight how 1 week has drastically affected you and how it has compiled over the past month?
All right. It's like if somebody give you a job, and the job might be a job where 5 of you are working, and you might calculate how each man's day's pay. And let's say you're working for $400 per day, and 5 4 are 20, that's $2,000 every day for these 5 men. At the end of a week, 5 2s are 10, that's $10,000. If you can't work, if you didn't work, then nobody gets paid, because this is not like a huge contractor who is going to charge for everything. Basically, it's a day work operation. So whenever you don't work, that's it. And sometimes we work 2 days, sometimes we might work 5 days, depends on what you have in order to get the work done. If you didn't get gravel, if you didn't get cement is the main thing. Cement is the glue in construction these days. If you didn't get cement, sand is no use, gravel is no use, blocks is no use. In fact, when I wanted some blocks, because I'm doing some work in front there, I had to borrow some blocks from a guy up the road with the supermarket. Borrow blocks from him. I tell him, boy, lend me some blocks. He say, yeah, I have a pallet there, I could lend you it. I take my van and go for it. Right? And I had to give him back his blocks. Right now, I borrow cement from one person's job, carry it on another job, and tell him I'll get back a cement when I start back to get cement. I know it is, for me to flow.
Now, in your view, I know that we all know that this situation has affected not just you, but a lot of contractors here on the island of Tobago. Yeah. In your view, what are some of the things you think that the government can implement to help to ease some of these burdens? I know the Chief Secretary, he recently spoke about compensation for businesses. Tell us a bit about your thoughts on that.
Well, some business, based upon how established they are, might be compensated. But a guy like me who is working from day to day with a group of men, I don't think we will be compensated in any way. But let's see what the government can do. I really don't have the ideas as to what the government can do. But I do know that if, like how one boat is going to be out of service, something should be put in place before that happens, so that we could be able to flow and not the place shut down because of some transition, something. I don't know. That's what I think.
Now, viewers, before we continue a bit more with Mr. Alexander, we just want to take a short break and we'll be right back after these messages. But remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Coming up, fets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Bertrude Legacy Park, Lowlands. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son Son. And from Tobago, Amateur Comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. And Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. We are still here in Rockville with Ernest Alexander. We're talking about the cargo woes, given in light of the Blue Wave Harmony still unable to transport cargo between the island of Trinidad and Tobago, and our contractors here are facing the brunt of it. Now, Mr. Alexander, before we went on the break, I know you mentioned when we know that a cargo vessel is going out of service or the lease is up, you would like for the government to have in place another vessel that is already up and running to ensure that it doesn't disrupt any of the businesses here on the island of Tobago, and I think that that is a reasonable request. However, do you think that even though we have one vessel that is operating, do you think that there is the need for two cargo vessels here between the island of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I can't say for sure. I just know that the place, because we cannot operate with the boat having to operate as it had been over the last couple of weeks. We can't operate, so that is what I know. I could take note of, but I can't say, well, whether there's a need for a next boat, because I heard the minister last night saying how the fast ferry is bringing material and the Blue Wave is bringing material, but that wasn't the case in the last couple of weeks. So if the situation eases up now, well, fine, but it wasn't so in the last couple of weeks. You just couldn't get stuff, so. And I don't think it's the first time that ever happened. It will continue to happen, but I just find this time was terrible. Well, I believe everybody would agree with me that this time was the worst.
Do you think that Tobago should explore material production to reduce the reliance on Trinidad? Because we know from the time the cargo vessel goes down, majority of the stuff that we get from Trinidad for us to supply the island of Tobago, that goes straight through the window. So do you believe that we should be more, we should really get into producing our own materials here on the island to reduce that reliance?
Whatever is the means by that we could get along better than things had been, would be welcome. I'm sure everybody would know that by now. So whatever can be done. I am not one who have the answer, but I believe that we don't have to. I don't think we should have to go through what we are going through on what we went through over the last couple of weeks, to tell you the truth.
Now, can you share with the policymakers? Now, I know you said initially you're not, you wouldn't be able to give direct insight onto how these things would operate. But if you had one message to give to the policymakers when it comes to securing a vessel and ensuring reliability here on the island of Tobago, what would you say to them?
Well, I don't think it might be just securing a vessel, because a vessel had been operating for as long as we had lived, and there always does be problems. So if the case become that we could do something else so that we don't have to rely upon a vessel, that will be welcome.
Now, despite the challenges that we are currently facing, are you optimistic about the future in construction here in the island of Tobago?
Yeah, I think so. I think the future of construction on the island depends on us, the average Tobagonian, and how much we want to progress as a people. From where I operate, I wish that the younger generation, the younger men in particular, would do like I did when after school. I am hardly finding people interested in learning the trade. I am, while myself and the crew that we are all working together with, while we are working, a number of guys will come around and say, I want to work. If a young fella come, I will tell him, brother, I say, well, try to learn the trade. Try to learn the trade because it will help you. And you're hardly finding young fellas interested in learning the trade. They want a work where they could get money. I could go back in my days. I learned trade. And when I went to learn trade, I wasn't being paid. The guy told me, I'm not paying all you. And so I used to ride it to go on to learn trade, ride a bicycle to go learn to learn trade. And thank God I did learn, and I am able now to operate with all the knowledge and skill that I have. I could make a living. And I think if a young fella will be interested in learning the trade, what is in his brain, what he learned, will take him forward instead of just looking for something in his pocket. Because what in your pocket don't last. I'm sure everybody who in construction will know by the time you get paid Friday, by the next Friday or next Friday, week and a half, your money done, because cost of living is that high. So if you learn, it will help you. So that's one of the tragedy that I notice across the island. The young fellas and them not really willing to learn trade. Everybody's saying, I want a government work. I want a government work. And I could tell you, I thought that same way in earlier time, and I did get a government work. And after a while, when I saw what it was doing with the skills that I had, I left the government work and stay single, practice my trade, and was able to make a better living for myself. And I have no regret of leaving the government work, where
So
everybody
just-
running after.
So just on the heels of that, you're just encouraging our young people
Yes.
to be more business-centered, business-minded,
Yes.
and that way we can help to develop the island of
Yes,
Tobago going
yes,
forward.
yes.
And it can probably help to alleviate some of these issues, and some of them would go into
Yes.
making materials here on the island of Tobago
Yes.
to help with the construction sector here.
That's right.
Okay. Mr. Alexander Wayne, thank you so much for doing this interview with us here on Tobago Update, sharing some of the woes that you are facing yourself and your colleagues as well. And we are hoping that everything is rectified swiftly. I know we said on March 1st, the Blue Wave would be back up and running, and we're hoping that you get the ease and the other contractors here on the island of Tobago get the ease that they are looking for. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning here. We just want to remind you to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Thank you.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowlands. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
The buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates and Morning Show, viewers. And we have on the line Mr. Brian Brown, who is the director of the Jesus Christ Makes the Difference Supermarket, also known as Bill Brown Supermarket in Government House Road. And he's here to speak to us about the impact that the cargo situation is having on their business. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Brown. Good morning, Mr. Brown. Are you there? Okay, we seem to be having some technical issues.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Brown. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Good morning, Tobago.
So, Mr. Brown, we're talking about the cargo situation, and we heard from a contractor in Tobago here how it has impacted his business, and we just want to get from the perspective of someone else who conducts business in Tobago how the cargo situation has impacted them. You're the director of the Jesus Christ Makes a Difference supermarket at Government House Road. How has things affected your stocks?
Well, of course, I mean, obviously, it will have some effect, on how businesses in our usual operations, because it's widely known that most of our stuff come from Trinidad. All right. But with that being said, we have been forced to make some adjustments. All right, where we can use the fast ferry. We have smaller vehicles that would, we would load smaller vehicles so that they could fit on the fast ferries and stuff like that, so that we would get some stuff. All right. There are some stuff that we definitely would have to bring on the cargo boat, that, the sugar and the maybe feed and flour and stuff like that, that we, is a little bit difficult to get. So yes, it has had some negative effect. All right. But we have also made some adjustments so that business could go along, so that the customers don't suffer as much.
Okay, so Mr. Brown, in terms of cargo, we have heard persons talking about cargo, there been a backlog in cargo, and there's a back and forth between the Minister of Works and the opposition leader about whether there's a backlog on the Port of Spain to come to Scarborough. Do you have any backlog of goods on the Port of Spain to make its way up to Scarborough?
No, not really. We don't usually operate like that, because of course we are dealing with perishable goods. All right, and we can't afford to, make bookings without it being confirmed, without knowing for sure if they're going to come within a day or two. All right. Also, we do not want to politicize the thing, because you're getting to that and people suffering and stuff like that. So we try not to get to start the blame game kind of thing. Like I said, we just try to make adjustments. Whatever, we understand the situation, and this is not new. This is not something new. Right? We have had issues with the ferry before, with the cargo boat before. All right, and we have been forced to make adjustments, and we're doing the same so that the business can go on, so that customers would be serviced. The community and Tobago at large would, we could service the community.
So you would say that you have minimal disruption in your normal operations?
I would say that there is some, but it's not a disaster. Like I said, we have made some adjustments so that things could go on.
And within the supermarket fraternity in Tobago, do you think that many supermarkets have made the similar adjustments that you have in order to supply their customers with the goods that they need?
I would think that some adjustments would have been made. To what extent, I can't say, because obviously, we are, minding our business as the local term would say. But I would hope that some people have made adjustments so that things would go on. I know that some would be affected. We are not as a large business, a large supermarket as maybe the Penny Savers and the Viewport and stuff like that. So, they may have some kind of a greater effect, on the cargo vessel probably would have a greater effect on them, but we have made our adjustments and we are going along, and I'm really hoping that they would, find a way to have the business move along as well.
I know that some persons within the business community in Tobago have been crying that a crisis is either here or a crisis is looming. But in your conversations with your colleagues, you don't get that sense of a crisis on the island.
In some part, and I guess it comes down to the personality of the individual. Some people see things positively. That is what we try to do. We understand where our help come from. We put our trust wholly and solely in God. So regardless of how things may be looking, physically, how things looking in front of us, we continue to believe that God is going to work things out for us. So we always have a positive outlook on any situation, while some people may not, and some people may play it for what it is exactly. This is what is in front of me, so this is how I'm gonna play it. And some people may read it that way. I mean, I understand, the hardwares and stuff like that would be hit really hard because they really don't have an option to get their stuff over here. It's just the one cargo boat, you know. So there is going to be a really, really great effect on the Tobago, in the Tobago space when it comes to servicing the Tobago people and stuff like that. It's going to increase the prices of certain products and certain services, you know. So yes, whether it's a crisis, I don't know, but it is going to have a great effect.
So, Mr. Brown, in interactions with your clients, you know, those who come and shop at your supermarkets, you haven't heard many complaints in terms of shortages of particular items or anything like that. They seem to be very satisfied with the stocks that you have on your shelves.
Yeah, for the most part, and we are grateful. We are grateful that our clientele, our customer base, they have come, you know, whatever we have, they have bought. And like I said, it hasn't been a disaster. Obviously, like I said, there are going to be things that you're not going to get, right? Because all the snacks and all the you know, his cake and, you know, stuff like that, you know, those things come from Trinidad. You know, the big bag of flour and the big bag of sugar and stuff like that, those things come from Trinidad, and those things have to come on the cargo boat. But they can supplement those things with, you know, 2 kg flour, with 2 kg sugar. They can supplement those things with you know, with other products.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and now that we see that the cargo boat is back up and running, I think it made its first voyage back to Tobago last night into this morning. What are your hopes for the stability of the sea bridge?
Yeah. Well, that is the hope. That is everybody's hope, that, you know, we could have some consistency and predictability, so that you can go ahead and plan your business and make orders and, you know, plan your life, and not hope that this comes and hope and run the risk of loss and stuff like that. So my hope and prayer is that we really have some consistency and some stability going forward, some predictability going forward.
All right, Mr. Brian Brown, thank you very much for taking time off to speak with us here at Tobago Updates concerning the issue of the cargo ferry. And we pray that your business grows from strength to strength, and that you will succeed and you can get things back up to normal and serve your client base.
We receive that. We receive that prayer. We receive that prayer in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right. Blessings.
All right, viewers, that is all we have for you this morning on the morning show. But the Tobago Updates programming continues. We have GMT up next. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next.
Today we are proud to officially open the Roxville Police Club Computers Room, a space that represents growth, opportunity, and our commitment to empowering our community through education and technology.
Today's initiative that is once again being supported by the Digicel Foundation is indeed a record-breaking success. Not everybody can be able to buy a computer. And even though they buy a computer, some of them don't have internet. And there will be a space, a safe space, where they can come and do their homework and to be able to do their SBAs and to be able to ensure that they have a starting chance in life.
At Tobago, we often speak about Panyard model. A Panyard is not just where music is played. It's where discipline is learned, talent is shaped, teamwork is built, and young people is guided in a safe space and positive environment. This exactly is what technology and education Center represent. Just as a panyard brings young people together around steel pan, this center brings them together around technology to learn, to explore, and to prepare for the future.
I am truly thrilled to be here with you today as we celebrate the opening of another Technology in Education Center, the 4th Thai Center in Tobago. Through this program, we aim to bridge the digital divide by expanding access to technology and the internet in communities that need it most. And with the invaluable partnership of Pan Trinbago, we have been able to go a step further and technology within Panyards.
Just to say to the young people and all the persons who will be accessing this facility, you need to show ownership of it. You need to take care of it. And I suppose that in the not too distant future, knowing Mr. Hazel and the Police Youth Club, they're going to expand on it when they look at how many persons are accessing it.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
While I commented in Panorama because I enjoy hearing the steel pan. You know, just a beautiful song, the national instrument, I just enjoy being it, you know. I love the song.
Yes, pan is life, pan is love, pan is everything. When it should come, that's what I say. Blue still! I like the music. I like pan, I like noise. I like the vibes, and I feel like a lot of young people that's come out, and typically young people don't come out to support Trinidad's culture. So I typically like it because it brings all of us out.
I think it's a difference to see the children enjoying themselves, because I graduated and I never really played pan and stuff. And seeing children embrace the culture and wanting to be a part, even though, you know, we have a bit of mix up this year. But, you know, it's just good to see that everybody still wants to come out and support and be there to embrace the culture and keep it pushing and keep it alive.
3 Panyards, 3 steel bands, 3 arrangers. Come with us on this journey to the finals of the National Junior Panorama 2026.
For health and strength, and we give you thanks, O Lord, for bringing us this far. You would send your Holy Spirit upon us in a mighty way. We ask you, O God, that you would touch each and every player in this band, that you would give them steady hands, O God, that they would be able to give the performance of their lives. And everyone say, Amen.
Been following us with our Juniors of Steel series, you'll know where we are. We are right here at the Queen's Park Savannah, Port of Spain, for the finals of the National Junior Panorama 2026. And we're here on the drag. Cats and Jammers youths are getting ready to go stage side as they'll be appearing in position number 1. We have 3 bands here this evening in the under 21 category. So we're taking you stage side. We are here at the Queen's Park Savannah for the National Junior Panorama Finals 2026.
We're going retro, and it's that in Jamtown
with a kettle pot.
Let's put our hands together and give our lovely Trinidad welcome to band number 1, Cats and Jammers Youth.
I just very glad everything worked out perfect today, and the experience was very good, and I hope to arrange for many more years.
From Pan Camp, straight Dramas Youth. So wonderful, great performance. Very, very, very proud of them, very proud.
Right after the prelims, we were kind of disappointed with the results, but nevertheless we came out and put our best. Hopefully, we went out.
This was my first experience, and this first experience I felt so good, and I just felt to dance up myself a little, and it helped to relieve.
My heart is so full, right? Seeing Kush, my big son, doing the arrangement from since Kush was probably a little older than Jaden, right? And to see Kush and now Jaden doing that same thing, my heart is so full. I'm so proud of my two sons, and I know that Jaden is looking up to Kush, right? Kush is a role model to him, and his aim is to be better than Kush, and I know he is going to be better than Kush. I am sure, I'm proud of that, right? But I'm really happy.
Number one, nobody can beat me. I sure about that.
It was a great experience. This is my second time within the last 10 years working with youths, where Panorama is concerned. And I can say that Uptown Fascinators is a band, the youth band. I don't watch out for the band, they're just as dangerous as the seniors.
The team keeps surprising me because since we started training some of them who never played Pan in November and seeing them perform on the big stage, just with that feeling so incredible.
I'm sure that Amari is great. I can't even explain it. Castle kinda, cool enough from the experience. He was one of my best, one of my favorite. And tune was just sweet.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and guys, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is taking aim at Chief Secretary Farley Augustine as the cargo vessel crisis reaches a breaking point. Dr. Rowley took to social media as one of the few producers in Tobago, saying that he cannot feed his livestock, which includes sheep, chickens and pigs due to the lack of feed reaching the island, with opposition leader Penelope Beckles-Robinson warning of dire shortages and Minister Jerlene John claiming no shortages. The pressure is mounting for a definitive end to these issues. Additionally, in tragic news from West Tobago today, an investigation is underway into circumstances of a drowning at Mount Irving on Monday evening. The victim has been identified initially as 43-year-old Godwin Williams of Riseland Trace, Canby. Stay tuned for updates as more information comes to hand. And finally, relief may be coming for Tobago's struggling private sector. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has commissioned a formal economic assessment led by Dr. Selvon Hazel to quantify losses as a result of the cargo vessel disruption. Unlike the 2017 crisis, Augustine promises a data-driven approach with results due in 2 weeks to determine exactly how the THA will compensate and support affected businesses, as reports of losses in the hundreds and thousands are reported by the business community. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are going to open the phone lines to have a conversation with you on this crisis as we continue from what we were doing here yesterday. And so we're going to be talking a bit about, is there really a crisis? From you, the people that are on the ground, or even you as Tobagonians that may not be in Tobago at this point in time, but you have family in Tobago. What are you hearing? What is the real situation from the persons that go to the groceries every week, the persons who go probably twice a week? You know that there are key staple items that you often buy. Is there really a shortage in these items that you particularly need or often buy or want? So we're going to have that conversation with you this morning, and we are going to open the phone lines. And remember, our number to call this morning is 284-6597. That's 284-6597. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we will be chatting with you live via our phone lines. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy.
TL Promotion presents Laugh and Live this Good Friday, 7 p.m. It's non-stop laughter at Birchwood Legacy Park, Lowland. Special guest from Jamaica, Mr. Funny himself, Owen Blacker Ellis. From Trinidad, Rising Comics, Alan the Entertainer, and Son. And from Tobago, amateur comic, Bishop Terence Baines. Listen, this is a laughing matter. Get your tickets now at Den's Electronics, 2nd floor, Port Mall, Scarborough. An Island e-tickets or call 685-1988. At the door, you will pay more. It's gonna be a family affair. Laughter is good for the soul, whether you're young or you're old. So get your tickets now. You can't afford to miss it. Add some laughter to your Easter.
Coming up, bets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning our phone lines are open and we are asking you to give us your take, have your say and weigh in on the discussions this morning. Is there really a crisis happening here in Tobago, or are there just a few persons that are really being affected in the construction sector and in the agriculture sector? We want to hear from you this morning. If you have been going to the grocery store or your business is dependent on consistent inter-island transportation, we want to hear whether or not you have truly felt the brunt of the effects of the issues surrounding the availability of the cargo vessel here in Trinidad and Tobago as the Blue Wave Harmony conducts its sea trials as we speak. Now, what we never want to do is diminish the plight of any sector, whether it be the construction sector, the health sector, the agriculture sector, to say, well, look, there's so many people who aren't affected. What we want to understand is the extent of that impact, and we can only understand that by gathering data, just as the Chief Secretary indicated. And to gather that data, we want to hear from you. And I'm hearing that we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller, and welcome.
Hello, you can hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you.
You know, I listen to the people on the other show just now, and it is, this, I want to get this fixed. I want to get it fixed, you understand? I take my little pension when I get my pension, and I do my little stuff, you know, and when I have a man doing some work on my property and he can't finish it. He cannot finish it because he cannot get the things to finish it. And I don't know how long again I will have here. I trying to get it finished for my children and my grandchildren, and I want to see it fixed, you know, and this is not about a politic thing. We just want to get it fixed.
Understood.
When I go in the grocery, something I cannot get. And
Understood.
I have to eat.
And is there a particular grocery that you often shop at where you are unable to access those supplies?
I don't want to call no name. You know, I don't want to call no name. But I want all you to understand, to Begonian people like me, we have to eat. And not all of us could go to plant in the ground, you know. But when they go to the grocery and the supermarket, we want to eat.
Understood. Thank you so much, caller, for calling and weighing in on that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we want to hear from you. What are your individual experiences? Me particularly, I often shop at some of the main supermarkets here on the island, and I personally haven't had any of those issues. I mean, outside of one of my favorite salad dressings that I haven't been able to get for some weeks now, but most of the things that I am often buying are available to me in the grocery store. And as we heard earlier in the conversation with Akinlabi, although there has been these challenges, most of the time when you look at the transportation that brings food to and from Trinidad and Tobago, some of those vessels, some of those vehicles often come up on the regular ferry that transports passengers, like the APT James or the Spirit, the TNT Spirit or the Buku Reef. So for some persons who have those grocery stores, like, you know, often the Kiss Truck and the Bermudas and Charles, those stores, you see that the grocery store still has a number of those items. But again, we want to hear from you. What are your individual experiences? And is it that some of the smaller grocery stores are experiencing the brunt of the issue, while some of the larger suppliers have warehouses stacked with goods so that we, the consumer, don't really feel the impact of it? We want to hear from you this morning. So all phone lines are open, and we are also open to receiving your comments through our Facebook Live comment section. Yes, we will be reading your comments as well. So we want to hear from you. So join us on Facebook by asking your question or answering the question this morning. Are you feeling the brunt of this situation with the cargo vessel? Now, we heard two sides of the coins yesterday and the day before that. We heard from a former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, who is a known farmer here on the island of Tobago. And as we indicated in the news in 90 seconds, he said that he has chickens, sheep, and pigs, and he has been having issues getting feed from Trinidad to come up. So we want to hear from you this morning. What sector are you operating in, and how affected have you been? I'm hearing that we have a call on the line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Hi, President. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say with this boat situation, we just want us to look at the wider picture, how dependent Tobago is for its basic necessities from Trinidad. And it's really, really time for us to have the conversation about having our internal governance, to be able to market Tobago, to be able to get our goods and services from other places besides Trinidad. Because the simple boat fiasco, it makes us realize how dependent we are on everything.
Right.
And it's time for us to have that conversation. It's so good that we have a better relationship between Trinidad and Tobago in terms of our communication between the central government and the Tobago House of Assembly. And I think we should use this as an advantage to get this talk and get this bill going again, and to get it completed.
Understood. But when you talk about getting food from elsewhere, we know that a huge portion of the food imported into Trinidad and Tobago is, it comes from the United States. It's internationally imported to us. So when you say getting food outside of Trinidad, because even when we look at the shipping route that takes place to get food to Tobago, food gets to Port of Spain before it gets to us, even though it probably may come from, let's say, another island within the region. It still goes to Trinidad before it comes to us. So the bigger picture also speaks to that autonomy conversation. and having direct access by means of a shipping port, because the only reason why we have to depend on the cargo vessel to get food from Trinidad to Tobago is that when that bulk of food that is imported to Trinidad and Tobago, it lands in Port of Spain and containers are cleared there. So are we getting to a point where the conversation has to surround expanding the port facilities in Tobago to have containers come directly to us?
And yes, expansion of the port is very important, but also the control of the port, both from the airport and the seaport, is also important. So expansion is one thing, but control is another thing, because we can go ahead and expand the port from here to by Coast Guard Corner. But if we don't have control of it, it takes us nowhere.
Yeah, but even if
I believe the port is under the 6th schedule, and we have no control over the operations of the port. And that's why a lot of goods will come straight to Trinidad and then come to Tobago. But if we have control of the port and the operations of the port itself, then we can dictate what ships come to Tobago, right, first, and then go to Trinidad. We would have a say. But right now, we don't have a say on the sailing schedule. We don't have a control on where the boats go from the time it comes from international waters. We don't have that say. I understand that we have a conversation on having that voice in terms of the control of the port and what goes in and out of the port.
Excellent. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you for calling. We have another caller that is coming on as well. And I think our last caller brought a quite interesting point and perspective as it pertains to control of the port facilities. And even, as he said, even if we do expand the actual infrastructure, having the control, or at least partly controlled, having those key partnerships, it may help to control what comes to Tobago compared to what goes to Port of Spain. Good morning, caller, and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling with respect to the points being discussed. I relate to challenges getting stuff to Tobago. I've heard it said that goods or products normally have to Trinidad and come to Tobago. Of course, the preferred position would be that shipping line will drop off goods in Tobago and then go to Trinidad, because you have to pass Tobago to get to Trinidad. But it's not that simple, because a large shipping line is not like a taxi. You can't stop at every point or at every port. The reason why some ports are in fact regarded as major ports is because larger shipping lines are in fact unable to dock in certain ports. That's one of the problems that we are having with the Blue Wave. Tobago's port is almost too small for the vessel to navigate the port easily. So while it's preferred that international ship line, while it's preferred that they would be able to dock in Tobago and drop items or goods off in Tobago, it's not something that's logistically economical for large shipping lines. So it's critical that the challenges between Trinidad and Tobago are corrected, because, as I said, it would not be as simple as just having a large shipping line stop in Tobago and drop off goods in Tobago and then come to Trinidad, because the volume that would be required to be dropped off in Tobago would not justify them stopping in Tobago and then coming to Trinidad.
Okay, but you made a point there, but let me bring another point to the conversation as well. What if actually having that direct line increases business activity and persons' confidence to actually import more goods and help to, stimulate Tobago's economy? If there is that direct line, or there's the opportunity for that direct line, is it possible that we could see more furniture suppliers popping up in Tobago? Is it possible that we see more medical supply companies popping up in Tobago? Is it possible that more multinational companies may be willing to actually set up here, since it may be easier logistically to have their goods and services in Tobago? Will Tobago businesses feel more confident to import larger portions of goods because there is that line?
Well, one would hope that is the situation that is obtained, but you have to understand that at the end of the day, one of the challenges that Tobago has is its size. So, Tobago has a population of 65,000. How much hardware items do you think Tobago can in fact accommodate to justify a international line stopping off in Tobago to in fact distribute those items? I'll give you an idea. Bag one things, for example, in Trinidad, moves over 200,000 containers per year. Do you think that construction in Tobago will require that kind of volume to, in fact, therefore justify the international lines stopping in Tobago? So it's really...
Yeah, that's a good point that you raised there.
One would really hope that Tobago can develop to in fact accommodate those kinds of volumes, but it unfortunately is not the case.
Right, and the only other solution would be increased population size or increased number of tourists on the island. And in order to increase the tourist number, then we have to increase our room stock. And so that's a totally different conversation. And I don't think
another conversation, because I can tell you from my own practical experience, I've been talking to the TAP for the last 15 to 20 years about its room stock. 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And the successive leaders have in fact made a total mockery of the whole idea of adequate room stock in Tobago of the quality that is required to attract the kind of numbers that the tourism business in Tobago needs to attract. It's a pathetic situation, and until and unless Tobago changes its view on the tourism product, nothing is going to happen.
Understood. Well, caller, we want to thank you so much for calling in and giving your contribution on the topic this morning. Excellent points brought forward there. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have our phone lines open this morning. We are chatting to you, and our number to call is 284-6597. Are you feeling the brunt of the issues surrounding this cargo situation, or the lack of a cargo vessel with consistent flow of inter-island transportation between Trinidad and Tobago for persons within the construction sector, agriculture, food supply, and other supplies that usually come up using that cargo vessel? We often have the scrap iron dealers and stuff like that who consistently use the cargo vessel. We have another call on the line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we are talking this morning about the cargo situation. Is there truly a crisis that's happening in Tobago from your experience going to the grocery store, whatever sector it is that you work in, the agriculture sector? Is there truly a crisis that's happening?
No, I think the situation calls for an objective sort of opinion and commentary, and some of the things that are being peddled by the media, particularly certain national carriers, I think it does not inspire confidence in us as an island. Yes, agreed. However, from a balanced perspective, there are still supplies at certain grocery stores, if not many of them. And I do think that the media has a duty and responsibility to go into these facilities or these establishments and report the facts, and not just operate based on hearsay, because when it is you create the illusion that there is some sort of crisis or some looming crisis, it puts people off from the island, particularly from a destination management perspective. When people or visitors that are booked to come to the island hear of such things, then you know, it creates a form of panic, and that is not what we want for island as a destination, and even for the citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago who are coming to and from. We want to inspire confidence in doing business in Tobago. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, the initial operations of the Blue Wave Harmony did not go smoothly as planned, but just as anything, you know, from a managerial and an operational perspective, there are teething issues, and once I hand out, things work accordingly. And might I add, there was a point in time in the history of the Sea Bridge where for better part of a year or even more, we had a barge ferrying things, and you know, that was not necessarily the best of arrangement. So in hindsight, when we look at some of the things that we've had to contend with on the Sea Bridge, this is still not as bad as some of the things that we've had to deal with. And I applaud the Tobago House of Assembly for at least trying their best to, you know, be transparent and at least communicate. The Chief Secretary tried his very best to communicate. Look, it's not perfect. We're getting it right. It will be sorted in due time. And I think credit should be given where that is concerned. However, as I stated before, the media has a duty and responsibility to be responsible in their reporting and not to just excite people unnecessarily so and create a scenario that gives the impression that it's all doom and gloom, because it is not.
Understood. But caller, we want to thank you so much for calling in this morning and engaging with us and giving your comments on the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will continue with hearing from you on a number of topics and a number of issues. And so we hope to get you in with us this morning. Our phone lines were quite busy, having a number of callers calling in. Unfortunately, we could not have taken everyone. But our number is 284-659-72. If you are interested in calling in tomorrow, save our number and, you know, be sharp in your abilities to call in and have that conversation with us tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more conversation on this topic. See you soon.
60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people.
You can can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Coming up, fets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
You come in. Long time I see you, Joe. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue our conversations. And you know, yesterday I began a conversation with the Member of Parliament for Tobago East, but unfortunately we faced some technical difficulties. And this morning I have the privilege of continuing that conversation right here in studio with none other than the Member of Parliament for Tobago East, Mr. David Thomas. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the listening public. And I'm happy to be here.
Right. I'm not sure if you were able to catch the first half of my conversations this morning, but I would have touched base with members of the public to find out if persons are actually feeling the brunt of the situation taking place as it pertains to the Blue Wave Harmony, still conducting sea trials and not yet having a consistent servicing schedule. The Chief Secretary indicated that from the 1st of March, that should be confirmed and up and running. Have you had conversations with members of your constituency to understand what some of the individual challenges are?
Yes, I have had conversations. I have spoken to quite a number of business persons, and I am clear in my mind that we do not have a crisis. What we have is a challenge, and based on the challenges we are having now, it is impacting negatively on some of our Tobago persons, right? In the fact that we are now on trial with the blue wave, which is, in my opinion, necessary, because you cannot reasonably expect that you acquire this vessel and you put it into service without doing your testing, without doing your checking, without paying attention to your safety schedules. Because it's the same way that if you do not do those things and you put it into service and something happens, you know, the blame will be thrown all about the place. So out of an abundance of caution, I would err on the side of ensuring that all the safety measures, all the checks and balances are taken into account. And if we were given a guarantee that the boat would resume normal service come the 1st of March, I think it's reasonable for us to allow the process to take place, and then we can properly serve the needs of Tobagonians with no hiccups, with no stones unturned. But I am aware that there is a challenge at this time, but I know that it will be soon averted, given the guarantees we have given from all the stakeholders that are responsible for ensuring that the vessel is put into service and put into service in a safe and reliable manner.
Understood. And, you know, yesterday we were having the conversation as it pertains to the movement towards Tobago's autonomy, and how does this current situation affect that need? Can you tell us a bit about that, and what are some of the conversations that are happening?
Right. So there are several conversations happening, and you have to see Tobago as the #1 priority in the business of Trinidad and Tobago. The fact that I am in office and I have given myself to serve the people of Tobago is because I understand quite a number of things. And given the fact that we are seeing this crisis, it means that there is much to be done, and we should be responding to the needs of Tobago in a holistic way. Not just because we have a challenge now, but going forward, we should be in a firm position where we contribute solidly to the business of Tobago and the autonomy of Tobago, where decision making is concerned, where development is concerned, and where our own safety and security is concerned. So I am indeed very, very concerned. I see this crisis as a wake-up call. I see this crisis as unearthing the problems that can occur, and therefore there needs to be some level of decision making that would guarantee Tobago a better share of the pie, a better place in the sun, and therefore we should be channeling all our energies, given the information that comes from time to time, towards really developing Tobago in a holistic manner.
Understood. And tell us a bit about the work that's being done at this particular time. The Chief Secretary indicated during the campaign trail that Tobago's autonomy is a priority item. You know, from your experience, the conversations with members of your constituency, the conversations that are happening at the central government level, getting it back to a place where there's more consultation within the communities, and even getting it back on the parliament floor. Where are we in that process as we speak?
Well, I think we are moving ahead. I know that all the legal minds, led by the Attorney General, are in deep consultation at this time. I know for a fact that there would be several conversations taking place in the Tobago space to fine-tune what is going to be presented in the Parliament. Right? Lots of us might not have had an opportunity to make our contributions in the past, but I think that is going to be taken care of fully, because there is conversation happening now. There is the opportunity for every single Tobagonian and for the administration of Tobago to look at all the documentation that went before us and were presented in the past, to make sure that when you fine-tune and when you present your documentation this time around, it would truly represent the needs of Tobago. It would truly represent what the people of Tobago believe that we ought to be given. And it should really represent a holistic package that will identify Tobago as Tobago, giving it all its administrative powers, its legal powers, its opportunity for economic development, and its opportunity to ensure that we build out a product that we all can be proud of going forward.
Right. And you said something that's quite interesting there. It's important for Tobagonians, if the process does come around again in a similar way, whether it be through online or digital mechanisms for persons to submit suggestions, opinions, feedback, or whether it's going back to the community in that physical way and interacting with persons in those closed rooms, or having those town hall style interactions with Tobagonians, to have them make that input. It is important for persons to see value in even giving comments again. And I know that persons may say, well, this is a daunting task, or I've already submitted my comments from before. If you have and you think that those comments are still relevant, then resubmit them again. And we have to understand that we are preparing for a different world ahead from the one that was possibly envisioned, or the one that we were preparing for when previous comments were made for the Tobago Autonomy Bill. And not that it is no longer relevant, but there are additional factors to take into consideration when creating an autonomy bill that not only works for now, but works for the future. Of where we want to see Tobago go, that is inclusive of, you know, new technological developments and international interventions as it pertains to funding. And when we look at some of the constitutional restrictions that hold Tobago back from truly being able to fulfill its potential of, as the Chief Secretary says, being that greatest little island on the planet, because there are those building restrictions. There are restrictions as to how much money we can take from foreign investors as we speak. There are restrictions to how foreign investors can invest in Tobago, whether it be through infrastructure, through hotel properties and other things like that. And so for you, what are some of the key areas that Tobagonians must focus on in this new iteration of the Tobago House of Assembly Autonomy Bill?
Right. I think we should look carefully at our sovereignty. Tobago being an island that makes up a two-island state, right? I think that the number of concerns that I have, given what was presented before, because I'm aware that the bill that was presented before would have taken away a lot of our marine space, our beaches, our reefs. You know, there would have been huge compromises taking place there. I am also aware that our marine wealth, right, will come into focus. And I am one who believes that we exist as two islands who must have its sovereign space, right? And it's like two brothers being given a piece of land by a parent. Nobody has to tell either brother that it's necessary to have a surveyor, and you survey the space so you could rightfully own what is yours, and I could rightfully own what is mine. Going forward, the development of your space is critical to you and the development of your family and the future of your family and all that. I see it in the same context. And therefore, that conversation must take place so Tobago understand and is rightfully given its sovereign space and all that falls within it. That will provide for us to use the resources that can be generated from our sovereign space to be channeled towards our own development. And therefore, Tobago would we experience a certain level of autonomy, a certain level of independence, and therefore kind of make the decision and the laws that would be most suited in terms of the governing of your space. And if you do not have that authority, you do not have that autonomy, you do not have that decision-making power, then you are nothing less than being a colonial slave, as we have had in the past. Right? If you refer to a lot of the authors of the past that wrote on Tobago, it was concluded that Tobago is the only island of the Caribbean who has never had a say in its own destiny. And I find that is a very, very degrading space and place to be. And therefore, once we build out a product that speaks to Tobago independence, Tobago autonomy, Tobago development, and powers to really make decisions that would benefit Tobago, then we not in the place we should be.
All right. And, you know, even as we round off the discussion this morning, I indicated that there are several sides to this coin as it pertains to Tobago being able to sustainably supply the industries on the island, the very few industries that exist on the island. We heard from the former Prime Minister, and he indicated that he's a farmer here on the island. He's a producer. And he himself is struggling in this moment as it pertains to being able to supply feed to his farm. And I would like to think that he's not the only one. And so on the opposite side of that, you heard from the acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Jolene John, that this is not as bad as persons are trying to purport it to be. And she indicated that some are looking for the political lifeline through this issue. Because when you look at the capacity of the passenger vessels, it is not even half being utilized, up to half of its capacity. And you have those vehicles and passengers going back and forth between the islands, and some of those food and goods trucks are using those vessels. What do you have to say about the parallels being drawn here?
Right. Well, a lot of times when people talk, I always question whether they have the moral authority to speak in the first place, because there are a lot of decision makers that could have had Tobago in a better place. Right? And they chose not to do it. Right? And if the real concern is about Tobago development and what is happening now, then there were several opportunities in the past where those things could have been given attention. So sometimes when people are making noise, I listen carefully, because there are people who make noise because they have a legitimate reason to make noise. There are people who make noise because they are trying to attract attention. And there are people who genuinely make noise because the intention is to really move the process forward and create a better space for all of us to exist. So I'm very, very careful. And for those persons who make noise because they believe they have a right to do so, I am saying that in the context of Tobago, all of us who has an opportunity to make contributions towards the development of Tobago, let us not fall into the same bracket as those of the past who now wish to voice their concerns and make a lot of statements that they could have changed. Right? Let us look forward. Let us seek every opportunity. And I think that the environment is being created. This situation that we are in now should serve as a lesson, so that we take everything there is to be learned now, so that we do not fall into similar situations in the future. And it brings to the fore the necessity for Tobago to form an integral part of the decision making of this national community, and therefore provide a space where the citizens of Tobago and all those who wish to visit our shores can come to Tobago and realize that there is astute management taking place here. The administration is forward thinking, and therefore make contributions towards the further development of the space. That's what Tobago needs. We need positive conversation. We don't need to revisit some of the things of the past, because it can unearth a lot of hurt, and those who wish to make public utterances now, right? I think you should do some introspection to see whether in your time you were able to you did and make the contributions that you were supposed to make. And if you justifiably can say what you did in your time, right, that has down to the benefit of Tobago and the development of Tobago, so we should not be facing challenges like these.
Understood. But we want to thank you so much for being here this morning, even though our time or conversation was very short. Again, we look forward to all the progress that happens with the Blue Wave Harmony, and hopefully the time that the Chief Secretary gave us, the timeline of March the 1st, is indeed the timeline that Tobagonians or Trinbagonians have to work with as it pertains to
I just might say, I didn't just listen to what the Chief Secretary said. As a responsible person, I interacted with all the stakeholders, both in Trinidad and Tobago. I might not have gone down to the truckers, but the entire management team and those key stakeholders in Trinidad who are involved in the decision-making process, and they too gave me the guarantee that we would be fully operational by the 1st of March. And I am looking forward, and I want to assure Tobagonians that if it does not happen, I will not remain silent, but I would make public, right, my feelings and my intentions going forward.
Understood. We want to thank you again for being here this morning, and my audience, I want to thank you for calling in earlier and interacting and having your say on this conversation. Is Tobago truly feeling the brunt of the non-existence of a consistent cargo vessel between the islands? And you called in and you gave your take, and we continue to hear from you throughout the rest of the week. We will be encouraging you to call us, so save our number here at Tobago Updates. It's 2846597. Save that on your phone so you can call us swiftly tomorrow. We had a number of persons calling in this morning. We were unable to talk to you all, but there would be room for more conversations moving forward. Again, we want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.